Greg, Eric, and I, we know that Hank loved you so much because we loved him and the way he treated you. And I just want you to know that, okay? We saw a tremendous amount of love between the two of you, and that will always be with us, all of us. I just want you to know that, okay? We really appreciated him being in the family. And I was fortunate enough to live nearby and really get to know Hank over the years. And he was just like a father to me also. I just want you to know that he was the type of guy that was pretty much straight and narrow. He just pretty much tell you like it is, whether you like to hear it or not. And you know, if you didn't like what you were doing, he'd just tell you. He didn't care. That's who he was. And on a lighter note, before I met Ann, I was on a sailing trip, and I actually got the chance to spend some time up in Smithtown. And I can't imagine how Hank. I thought I was going to only be staying there for about maybe 3 or 4 months, but I forgot how long the winters were in New York. So the boat was laid up for a long time, and it ended up 4 months turned into 8 months. So Hank, being the engineer that he was, one day presented me with a schematic of the house, and he color coded it. And you know, this was to take effect after 9 p.m. at night, and at 9 p.m. the kitchen was colored red. So you would never be in the kitchen in the red zone after 9 o'clock, because you two are in the bedroom eating your Elio's pizza every day. And then the den area was the green zone, so you could always be in the green zone no matter what time of day. And then there was the yellow zone. That was like caution, just keep it down a little bit. So anyway, I wish I kept the schematic, but I didn't. So anyway, that's the kind of guy he was. He just let you know right to the point, and he will be tremendously missed by myself, and I'm sure everybody here. And what I like to do, I put a little presentation together, and I'm glad you're the tech guy, because in case this doesn't work. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, and this is Gary. He's Hank's son-in-law.
Yeah, married his only daughter. And I know Hank for 40 years. We've been married 40 years in April. We dated for a few years, and then we got married. But Hank, as was said, was very straight to the point. He always used to carry a little penknife in his pocket. So I had just met him, and I had this old beat up Valiant, and I needed some oil. So I said, Hank, you got to put some oil in your car. Yeah, go in the garage. I have a brand new case of oil. Take what you need. So I go out there, rip the box open, and take the oil and put it in the car. He comes out. He looks at the box. What animal opened this box? Because he would always take his penknife and so right from the get-go, you had to be very careful. You had to be neat, you had to be direct, and so on. But we hit it off well. We love Hank.
Well, Gary, you just spurred another thing in my head. Another thing Hank is, he was very regimented in the amount of food he would consume. And that included gum. He would take some pieces of gum and cut one stick of gum into like 5 pieces. They would be in a plastic bag, and he would just take them out, and he would chew it. As soon as it lost its flavor, out went the old one, in went the new one, and that kind of thing. So, but it was really fun just seeing all these types of things. And I forgot to say, if anybody else would like to say a word or two.
I think Allison should say something, right? Yeah, your father, right? I'm filming this too.
Uh-oh.
I want to hear some good stories too.
Say you and the daughter.
This is Alice, Hank's daughter.
I'm Hank's daughter, and of course I'm going to miss him a real lot. He was very special to me. I really wasn't prepared to say anything today because I was just going to sit back and listen to everybody. But I mean, my father was, for me, a wonderful man. And I always treasure, like, my father was very much into cars, and he used to restore, when I was a kid, he used to restore antique cars, and you'd find these terrible wrecked things and then make them into a thing of beauty. And so even when I was a little kid, I would play with cars. Even though I was a girl, I would have all, like, the Hot Wheels cars, and I would line them up, because you can't, everything had to be orderly for my dad. Nice and lined up, just perfect and everything. But he instilled a love of many things in me because of the interest he had. Like, he was, everybody knows, big into model airplanes. It was his lifelong hobby from when he was a kid. And I can remember when I was a kid, trying to build model airplanes alongside him. I don't have the skill or the patience, but I can remember trying to do that because I so loved my dad and wanted to be part of what he was interested in, even at a younger age. So, at any rate, like I said, I wasn't really prepared to say anything, but I'm really
We all love them very much. You know that?
It reminded me of another story.
We're gonna start coming out now.
We came down here, my sons were all in like 3 grades. And, so he took it flying up to the model airplane field up here. So the youngest one, Calvin, and he's flying the plane, it's in the air, he's got the controls, great. My middle son grabs the controls, he's doing great with it, and Hank is all happy, and then my oldest son, he gets it and he's doing great, and then he gives it to Alice. So she starts going with the plane and immediately starts to crash it towards the woods. And Hank just got so frustrated. No, take that. He didn't want that plane to crash it. He actually banned her from flying it after that. But he enjoyed, you know, his grandchildren, and he always had time doing stuff like that. It was a wonderful thing to share those things with him.
Anybody else care to say a few remarks?
Yeah, I could probably do something. I'm Bob Hibbs. I'm not part of the family. I consider myself extended family. Bob Sperber, Gene Wagner from the Model Field and I are here. And Hank was one of the stalwarts of the Model Club. He and I used to fly, believe it or not, formation. And we had more videos than Rachel admit. My wife would say, as I was leaving in the morning, stay out of Hank's way. I don't know who the culprit was.
Hey, Bob, that was supposed to be my story.
But anyway, we've missed Hank at the field for a number of years now since he hasn't been able to fly, but we'll miss him always out there. He's one of the cornerstones of the R.C. Haas Model Club.
Goodness.
Anybody else? What's that? Okay, all right, we're gonna watch it. If